We are preparing a system to install ComfyUI with Ubuntu Studio. We have made the installation media using Ventoy, installed Conda, as well as ensured the NVIDIA drivers were installed on the base. Next, we want to have our own Conda virtual environment containing the dependencies and Comfy. The environment will not be hard to create once we have Conda installed. We want Miniconda. It will come with a minimal amount of packages rather than over 300 packages. Although they tout it's related to AI, machine learning, all these packages, they are packages you're not going to know how to use. The vast majority of these are not going to relate to your project. You want to install just what you need manually so that you can manage the versions, manage the entire environment on a granular level. We want to find the install script, shell script. For Miniconda, not Anaconda this time because we want the minimal distribution. It's 1 gigabyte versus 150 megabytes. And we want to be able to run this Miniconda script, check if we want to make it executable just in case, so it will run. So open the terminal in that directory with Miniconda file, and we'll do a / and the file to run it. Go through the install, read the license. You can install Miniconda into the default location, the Miniconda 3 directory in your home users directory, by pressing enter at this step. Update your shell profile or terminal automatically, initializing Conda with this step. It's installed. Let's restart the windows for terminal that are open. All the windows for the command line need to be closed. Reopen it. And you can see here it says base on the left now. That means Conda is installed. The base environment will be activated by default. Each time you want to use Comfy or any virtual environment, of which you can have multiple with different versions of Python each. That is the main thing we're trying to accomplish with Conda. I should have mentioned this at the start. We are trying to be able to have a particular version of Python and particular versions of different dependencies in each environment. And Conda is the particular virtual environment tool that allows us to achieve that. you will use the terminal to work Conda, command line. Windows has the GUI interface for Anaconda. If you prefer to use a GUI, this is just as quick once you get used to it. We use the command sudo conda create to create this virtual environment. Sudo conda create -n for name, and put the name of the virtual environment we are working with, and we are going to call it ComfyUI -main. You can put whatever you want. Just remember what it is, because you're going to have to put it in a command every time you want to work with your Python script running in the virtual environment. Conda create -n, the name. Then we need to specify the Python version in this initial command, or it will use the default version. Most likely it will use 3.12. We want to have 3.12 today as the default for ComfyUI. However, we want the ability to do otherwise if desired. For instance, I've had scripts require Python 3.10 or 3.11, depending. But today, put 3.12 for our ComfyUI specific one. Do not run the command with sudo. I made a mistake. Always run without sudo first. This required me to not use sudo. Once you have created the environment, use the command conda activate and the name of your environment to activate. See here on the left, you can have your name of the environment visible. That means it is activated, and if you run any pip install commands, conda install commands, it is installing within that environment, not to the base system. So it's segregated, and you can have different versions of everything.